Has Neve Campbell already been confirmed to be playing Sidney Prescott again in Scream 6? Let's get into it.
What's your favorite scary movie? Name it.
We'll tear your soul apart.
Well, I'm Pennywise the dancing now.
Oh, Lord on the beast!
God, don't do that.
But sometimes dead is better.
Hey everybody, what's up? KillJoy Jake here, and instead of having friends, I have horror movies. Today we're going to get into if Sidney Prescott, or I guess Neve Campbell, is going to be coming back for Scream 6. We actually have a bit of news on that today, which is really exciting, and I can't wait to get into it. But first, I'm going to need y'all to like this video and subscribe for more horror content. Alrighty, now getting into this. The first we heard about Neve Campbell actually talking about her involvement with Scream 6 was a while back, like with some interviews where she had talked about being open to a Scream 6, that she would be down for that. Now, this past week, she was at Mad Monster Party Con in North Carolina, where she talked a little bit about Scream 6, where it was highlighted in this tweet from David Lennonhawk, where he specifically says, Neve Campbell panel was fun. When Scream 6 was brought up, she said she has been approached, but there's no script yet. One is forthcoming, and then she'll see. And then there's a bunch of pictures of her at this Mad Monster convention, where I guess she was like speaking about like all of the horror films she's done in the past, probably like The Craft, Scream, Scream 5, all the other Scream movies, because she's in all of them, obviously. But this was really interesting. When this bit of news came out like 3 or 4 days ago, I was curious to see if anything official would be coming out afterwards. And then yesterday, Screen Rant posts a article where they specifically get an official statement from Neve Campbell. In an official statement, Neve Campbell said this: "They have approached me. There's no script yet. There is a draft coming in soon, is what I was told. Actually, I was supposed to call a producer yesterday because he wanted to talk to me about what's going on. You know, we'll see. I'll read the script and see how I feel." Now, this is very similar to what happened before Scream 5, before we even knew that Sidney Prescott was going to be involved with this film or not. This was like pretty much the same response she had. She wasn't sure until she would read the script. She was like, I'm kind of iffy about it, but like, hey, if the script is good, yeah, sure, I'll do it. And with Scream 5, that's kind of what happened. She liked the script, so then there she was in Scream 5. Will she be in Scream 6? Could we see another Scream film without Sidney Prescott, I guess is the question. And I would say, like, yeah, I feel like they can make a movie without Sidney or the legacy characters at this point. There's a lot you could do with the Scream universe with new characters. And we have already seen Sidney and Gale and Dewey's story play out. One of those characters, yeah, their story is definitely over. But I feel like we have to move past these characters story-wise, at least. If we want to bring back Sidney Prescott, we want to bring back Gale Weathers, of course. Like, we're not going to say no to them. We're not going to just be like, yeah, no, we don't want you involved anymore. But it's starting to get a little ridiculous that so many people just want to kill Sidney Prescott. There's been 4 killers now where their motive was ultimately just to kill Sidney, and it's starting to get a little old. I appreciated that the motives of the killers in this new one was different. It wasn't something about killing Sidney Prescott. Sure, they ultimately would, if their plan was successful, they would have had to kill Sidney, but it was never the intention. It was always the intention of the past, like, killers from the other 4 movies to ultimately kill Sidney Prescott. So I'm glad we did something different in this new movie, and moving forward, I would want them to continue that. Don't just do the same thing where it's killers, people who want to kill Sidney Prescott, because I feel like people are kind of over Sidney at this point, with at least killing her in the Scream universe. And I'm moving forward with that as well. I think we should have a motive that's similar to Richie and Amber's motive, and something that could maybe comment on the state of horror where it is right now. A lot of this movie comments specifically on requels, and even more specifically, Halloween 2018. So what could this next movie comment on that would be kind of more focused on that? What would be the next step here? I feel like it should be on commenting on the pitfalls of Halloween Kills. Now, I liked Halloween Kills. It's a good movie, but it ultimately has some problems that a lot of people have recognized and feel like it's not as good as Halloween 2018, which I would agree. I feel like it's not as good as Halloween 2018. Maybe when I first saw it, I was pretty impressed with it, but the more I go back and watch it, the more I realize it does have some problems with the plot, and thematically it has some problems. The biggest thing for me is that it falls into the same problems that one of the other Halloween movies has already had and has been criticized on greatly because of that. Halloween 2, the biggest problem with that movie is the fact that you have Laurie Strode bedridden for the 90% of the film. It was a massive problem. It kind of fucks up the whole plot a little bit, in my opinion, and I think it could have just been written better. And the biggest problem with it is that it takes place the exact same night. We did the exact same thing in Halloween Kills, and arguably, they treated Laurie worse in Halloween Kills than in Halloween 2. At least in Halloween 2, Laurie gets to ultimately, like, put down Michael. That's cool. Laurie at least has a final girl lap where she's running around the hospital and then she gets to take down Michael. The first movie kind of already set that up, and you're redoing the same thing in the sequel. You should have had Laurie going after Michael the whole second movie, in my opinion, but instead we can't do that because it's taking place the same night. She has to recover from the wounds she suffered in the last film. So that's a big problem with Halloween 2. It's an even bigger problem in Halloween Kills, I feel. How could Scream 6 comment on that but also not fall into the same mistake? A lot of people's criticism of Scream 4, for example, is the fact that it criticizes remakes that don't necessarily have anything, that they don't really want anything to do with the original creators. For example, the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. They did not give a single shit about what Wes Craven had to say about it, which is why that movie sucks. And that Scream 4 was ultimately Wes Craven's commentary on that, which I think is hilarious and awesome and genius. But it does fall into some of the pitfalls that a bad remake of Scream would have. Because if you think about it, Scream 4 is just the horrible remake of Scream within a Scream movie, which is why I think it's genius, but it does at points fall into those problems, which I feel like is shown the most in the ending in the very beginning. Now, what Scream 6 needs to do to avoid that is to, like, if they want to comment on that specifically, what they should do, I think, is have your main characters not be in the hospital the whole time. Something about Halloween Kills and Scream 5 that I have a criticism of, both of the films, like pretty much the same thing, is that so much of those films take place at a hospital. We have seen this in so many horror movies beforehand where it's like, oh, the whole thing takes place at a hospital. This is so cool. There's so many horror movies set in a hospital. There are so many horror movies set in a graveyard. Move past that. Let's go somewhere else. There's so many movies with that setting in particular. Let's go somewhere else with our damn movies. God. Ugh, geez, there's so many hospital-driven horror movies. So, to avoid that for this next movie, let's not have it take place immediately where we left off. I know in the past I've said that, but now moving forward, I feel like you're gonna fall into the same problems that Halloween Kills, Halloween 2, and sort of arguably Scream 5 had. It's definitely a bigger problem in the Halloween movies than it is in Scream, but to avoid that in Scream 6 and not have all your characters injured for the next film, make it take place a year later, or maybe in present day, whatever you want to do. To comment on Halloween Kills and the pitfalls it has, you could recognize that in the killers more, I feel, than the actual main characters. And how I feel like you could do that is have killers with a repetitive motive. You could have them almost have the same motive as Richie and Amber, but also have these people be like followers of Richie and Amber through Reddit. Like, imagine if Billy and Stu came out in 1996 and they had Reddit. They had the ability to utilize the internet at such a wide range that we do today. There would be people who follow them and think they're right, because we have people of every single opinion nowadays online voicing their minds. So theoretically, you would have people who thought Richie and Amber were right and that they should be doing what they're doing to give Hollywood more ideas. So what I think would be great to show in a killer's motive and killers moving on in the future is people who think Richie and Amber were right and that they should kill someone to make a new story for Hollywood to ultimately make a movie about. And you could criticize the killers, like we could have Sidney Prescott and Gale when the killers are revealed in the third act of Scream 6, be like, this is literally the motive of the last people. And I'm sure, and here's the thing, I know I'm gonna get comments from people saying, well, Jake, isn't that just the exact same thing they did in Scream 5? You could literally make that same argument with every single Scream sequel. So I don't even want to hear it. If you think that's not a good idea for Scream 6 to take that route, then what about Scream 2? What about Scream 3? What about Scream 4? It's literally just more people who want to kill Sidney Prescott at the end of the day. Sure, their motives vary a little bit, but ultimately their goal is to kill Sidney Prescott because of whatever. So I don't think that would be too bad of an idea. I don't want to see Scream 6 have killers that just want to kill Sidney Prescott because they're related to Billy Loomis or some bullshit. I'm done with that. I'm so beyond done with that in the Scream universe. We've seen it so many fucking times. Give us something new. I like Jill Roberts as a killer, but oh my god, her motive is redundant. People have a problem with the motive in Scream 5, but dude, her motive is to kill Sidney to become famous. Like, look, she's evil and Emma Roberts gives an amazing performance, but it's the writing I have a problem with the most in Scream 4. Speaking of Scream 4, oh boy, have I got some exciting news for you guys. We have a Scream 4 locations video coming out Sunday. Oh yeah, the next locations video is finally here. Patrons will be able to see it early, hopefully this weekend at some point. I think it's coming out Sunday. So make sure to check that out. Patrons will see it Saturday. Everyone else will see it Sunday. So there's that. Very exciting stuff. Can't wait for you all to see it. So what do you guys think about that? Will the killer's motive be something centered around Sidney Prescott or something totally different, opposed to what we've done in the other 4 movies and not 5? Leave me something about it in the comments below. Thank you all so much for watching this new Scream 6 update. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more horror content. Also, please consider supporting me on Patreon. Literally for $1 a month, you get at least 1 extra video a month. And then also, if you support me at the other tiers, you get a bunch of other goodies. So make sure to check that out. The link for that will be in the description below. Also, if you can, support me on Kickstarter so that I can make my Scream fan film, Red Right Hand. The link for that will also be in the description below, and if you support me at different tiers, you get a bunch of crazy Scream-related goodies. So make sure to check that out. Thank you all again for watching, and as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.